The film begins by introducing a woman named Zhao Yu. She works as a lawyer at a small law firm and often helps defend her clients, many of whom are from less fortunate backgrounds. Even though she doesn't make much money, Zhao Yu always puts her heart into her work. One day, while on an airplane, Zhao Yu suddenly burst into tears. She didn't realize it, but her crying scared the person sitting next to her, who kindly offered her a tissue. Zhao Yu was too upset to notice the kind person's face. Now she is feeling really sad because she recently became a widow at a young age. Oddly, when the plane landed, Zhao Yu seemed happy again, as if she had forgotten about her earlier crying. When she got home, she was shocked to find her younger sister, Zhou Yuwei, unconscious. Fortunately, the doctor said Zhou Yuwei was suffering from depression and needed a lot of support from her family. Then, Zhou Yu discovered what had really happened by checking her sister's cell phone. She found a lengthy conversation with a man named Qi Zheng. Qi Zheng was Zhou Yuwei's boss. The next day, Zhou Yu asked her friend named Sun Qi for more information. Based on what Sun Qi had heard, Qi Zheng was the son of a very wealthy family and was currently taking over his father's company. There was a rumor that Qi Zheng was a guy who enjoyed playing with the feelings of many women. Hearing this, Zhou Yu was convinced that Zhou Yuwei had just been dumped by Qi Zheng. Filled with anger, she went to her sister's office, and to her surprise, she discovered that Qi Zheng was the kind passenger on the plane from yesterday. Unfortunately, Zhou Yu didn't realize it and instead asked Qi Zheng to take responsibility for breaking her sister's heart. Qi Zheng, who was unaware of what was going on, could only explain that he had only communicated with his employees through email, so he had never given any hope to Zhou Yu's sister. That's when she realized that it was Zhou Yuwei who had been too obsessed with Qi Zheng. Because of what happened, Zhao Yu told her younger sister to consider quitting her job at Qi Zheng's company. But Qi Zheng wouldn't allow it because all the employees who worked for him had signed contracts that didn't allow them to quit whenever they wanted. When Zhou Yuwei learned about this, she got really upset. Even though Qi Zheng didn't tell her feelings, she still wanted to stay at his company just to be near him. But Zhou Yu continued to look for ways to help Zhou Yuwei leave Qi Zheng's company. After learning about her work contract, Zhou Yu found out that Zhou Yuwei couldn't quit before her contract ended because there would be a penalty. Meanwhile, in the middle of all this, Zhou Yu got news that one of her clients, a construction worker, was thinking of harming himself. Zhou Yu rushed to the construction site, where the worker threatened to do something drastic if he didn't receive compensation. Soon after, Qi Zheng arrived with the compensation money. Then, they went up to the top of the building, but Zhou Yu was afraid of heights and struggled to climb. At that time, Qi Zheng noticed this and helped Zhao Yu while also giving the money to the construction worker. Thankfully, the worker decided not to harm himself. In the evening, Zhao Yu treated Qi Zheng to a meal at a simple restaurant as a way to thank him for helping save her client. During the meal, Zhao Yu talked to Qi Zheng about letting her younger sister quit her job. However, Qi Zheng had a different idea. Instead of Zhou Yuwei leaving the company, he suggested that she could switch to a different department. Hearing that, Zhou Yu thought it was a great idea and agreed. She felt guilty for thinking poorly of Qi Zheng earlier. After they finished eating, Qi Zheng offered to give Zhao Yu a ride home. At first, she kept saying no, but when it started raining and Qi Zheng had an umbrella, Zhao Yu accepted the offer and went home with him. The next day at the airport, Qi Zheng was there to pick up his childhood friend, Xin Yao, who had just returned from being abroad. Turns out, Xin Yao secretly had feelings for Qi Zheng. Then, after they returned from the airport, Xin Yao didn't want to leave Qi Zheng's car. She wanted to be wherever he went. However, with his cleverness, Qi Zheng managed to persuade Xin Yao to get out of the car. Meanwhile, the news about Zhou Yu and Qi Zheng saving the construction workers spread widely and became a hot topic everywhere. Because of this, her boss asked Zhou Yu to work together with Qi Zheng's law firm to become the new legal advisors for Qi Zheng's company. If they succeeded, they could earn a salary of 1 million yuan within a year. The boss even gave Zhao Yu a firm warning not to refuse this opportunity. The following day, Zhao Yu had to make a presentation about her law firm in front of Qi Zheng and the other company leaders. With a lot of confidence, she explained that her law firm was very reliable when it came to keeping clients' secrets and had never lost a case. What's more, they'd always made an effort to truly understand their clients' perspectives and were committed to resolving their cases completely, no matter what. An hour later, her boss received a call saying that their law firm had been chosen as the new legal advisors for Qi Zheng's company. To celebrate this success, the boss treated Zhou Yu and the other employees to a karaoke night. After karaoke, Zhou Yu was asked to meet Qi Zheng at a cafe. It was there that Qi Zheng confessed his feelings for Zhou Yu, saying that he had fallen in love with her at first sight. Zhou Yu was surprised and quickly turned down Qi Zheng's feelings. She thought she was just a poor widow who wasn't a suitable match for someone like him. She never imagined a fairy tale life like Cinderella's. Back at home, Zhou Yu shared with Zhao Yu that she had been transferred to another department, so she wouldn't be able to see Qi Zheng anymore. Upon hearing this, Zhao Yu advised her to stop holding on to the hope that Qi Zheng would move on quickly. The next day, Zhou Yu introduced Zhou Yu to her friend Zun Qi. She hoped Zhou Yu could forget about Qi Zheng and open her heart to new people. Later, Zhao Yu bumped into Qi Zheng again, thinking they'd talk about work, but things didn't go as expected. Qi Zheng surprised her by mentioning that he had given her tissues on the plane when she cried. Zhou Yu argued that her tears weren't about her short-lived marriage, but because she'd spent all her money on expensive plane tickets. She didn't want Qi Zheng to keep bringing up her past. Zhou Yu then asked Qi Zheng about rumors that he was a ladies' man and getting married soon. Qi Zheng denied being a ladies' man and said he was certain he would marry Zhou Yu. After hearing that, Zhou Yu couldn't forget those words. Then at home, Zhou Yu asked if her toothpaste was running out. Zhou Yu just nodded, looking confused. The next day, Zhou Yu decided to keep her distance from Qi Zheng, but he was determined to visit her office. He continued to convince her that he wasn't joking about wanting to marry her right away if she didn't want to date anymore. Unable to take it anymore, Zhao Yu kicked Qi Zheng out of her office. A week later, Zhou Yu, who was working as Qi Zheng's legal advisor, had to go with him on a business trip to another country. One day, one of Qi Zheng's employees shared a sad story with him. They told him that when he was a child, his mother had passed away tragically right in front of him, and this terrible event led to his father taking him to America for 10 years. In the evening, Zhou Yu approached Qi Zheng as he was burning a photo to remember the anniversary of his mother's passing, hoping she could see it in heaven. Qi Zheng deliberately burned a picture that looked very sad, reflecting the deep sadness he felt when he lost his mother. Losing her had taken away his ability to laugh. The next morning, while Zhao Yu was sipping her coffee, Qi Zheng's secretary shared a story about how Qi Zheng always went to the same cafe every day before heading to the office. What's interesting is that the cafe was quite far from the office. He did it so that he could catch a glimpse of Zhao Yu every day, even if it was just from afar. After coming back from a business trip, Zhao Yu wanted to check if what Qi Zheng's secretary had said was true. So she decided to walk by the cafe that Qi Zheng passed on his way to the office. And indeed, there was Qi Zheng watching her from there. Soon after, Zhao Yu headed over to Qi Zheng and suddenly, she felt touched by his sincerity. Qi Zheng, sensing this, told her that he would be going abroad for work the following week. He hoped that Zhao Yu could wait for him so they could go on a date afterward. From that day on, Zhao Yu impatiently waited for Qi Zheng to return. Finally, he let her know he'd be coming home the next day. Unfortunately, Zhou Yu had to go to Beijing for work all of a sudden. The next day, as she was boarding her flight, Qi Zheng showed up and hugged her. It turned out he had bought a plane ticket to Beijing too. Once in Beijing, they went on a date. During the date, Zhao Yu bought Qi Zheng a simple scarf, but it made him look quite fancy when he wore it. After their date, Qi Zheng had to leave early, but he had made sure Zhao Yu had everything she needed, from a ride back to a credit card. A few days later, Zhou Yu returned home and decided to visit Qi Zheng's house. While they were spending time together, Xin Yao suddenly showed up with flowers and food. When Qi Zheng introduced Zhou Yu as his girlfriend and mentioned their plans to get married soon, Xin Yao felt very jealous. However, Qi Zheng had to go abroad again for a long time because his business was in a mess. One day, Zhou Yu ran into Qi Zheng's father, who asked her to stay away from his son. He believed that Zhou Yu, a poor widow, wasn't a suitable match for Qi Zheng. When Zhang Yu finally met Qi Zheng again, she couldn't hold back her tears, and Qi Zheng gave her a tissue. He finally understood that Zhao Yu had been crying because his father had contacted Xin Yao's father to discuss their becoming in-laws. In reality, his father had been forced to do this to save a nearly bankrupt business. The next day, Xin Yao met with Zhou Yu and broke some surprising news. She told Zhao Yu that she and Qi Zheng would soon be getting married. But in reality, it was a contract marriage meant to save Qi Zheng's family business. That's why Xin Yao asked Zhou Yu to be understanding and let Qi Zheng live with her. This news felt like a terrible nightmare for Zhou Yu. She was feeling so sad, even though Qi Zheng reassured her that he wasn't going anywhere and would always be with her. Zhou Yu knew deep down that their relationship could never truly be united. The next day, Zhao Yu mustered up the courage to hand over their prenuptial agreement to Qi Zheng and Xin Yao. With heavy heart, Qi Zheng had to sign it. At that moment, Zhao Yu might have managed to smile earlier, but now she couldn't hold back her tears. Qi Zheng also couldn't stop reminiscing about the beautiful memories they shared. On Zhen Qi's wedding day, Zhao Yu attended with Shou Yuwei. When she saw Qi Zheng there, she tried to leave in a hurry. However, he managed to catch up and hugged Zhao Yu tightly. Unbeknownst to them, Shou Yuwei witnessed the whole scene. Then Qi Zheng invited Zhao Yu for a sincere talk. He kept reassuring Zhao Yu that he would never abandon her. He said he didn't want to go through the same suffering his mother did in a loveless marriage. So he wanted to cancel the marriage plans and go abroad with Zhou Yu to start fresh. Just when Zhao Yu was starting to soften, Shou Yuwei called him. On the phone, Shou Yuwei said that she already knew everything about Zhou Yu and Qi Zheng's relationship. She was getting ready to do something drastic at a building project owned by Qi Zheng. Soon after, Zhou Yu and Qi Zheng rushed over to find Shou Yuwei looking very upset. She called Zhou Yu the worst person in the world for betraying her. In reality, Shou Yuwei had been secretly in love with Qi Zheng all this time, and she couldn't understand why Qi Zheng fell in love with her sister instead. Feeling like life had lost its meaning, Shou Yuwei was determined to do something drastic, but Qi Zheng held her back with all his strength. Luckily, there were firefighters and medical teams waiting below to keep Shou Yuwei safe. Because of this incident, Qi Zheng and Zhou Yu decided to go their separate ways. Qi Zheng would settle in Hong Kong for now, while Zhou Yu stayed in China. Then Qi Zheng stumbled upon a pedestrian bridge called the Rain Bridge, which he had built to remember about their first meeting on the plane. As the day goes by, Qi Zheng tried his best to forget Zhao Yu. But when he came across the scarf she had given him, he felt powerless. Now all he could do was cherish their memories, even though their relationship didn't have a happy ending. Those moments they shared would always hold a special place in his heart. And the film ends. The moral lesson from this film is never judge a rich guy by his tissues, cause he might just be your sister's secret crush, and you ended up falling for him too.